Shalom bacha. Can you guys hear me now? Apologies, I apologize for that bumpy start, but apparently the application I work with to do these streams is experiencing some technical difficulties, which unfortunately escape to my ability to make them better. So, can you guys see me now? Hi Adon, hello, it's lovely having you here. Hello Verides. So now it's working. Okay, because at first it appeared as I was streaming, but actually the app was not working for some reason, and it's sending me these messages. I don't know if there's something wrong with Twitch today, but don't worry, I didn't say anything interesting. Do I ever? Okay, so alright, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna carry on with the stream, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a bumpy one. So just hello Typhoon, it's good seeing you. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna carry on. I'm gonna go on with the stream, and if it stops or if there's any kind of cut, stay tuned for 2 minutes, and if I'm not come back by then you can leave, because that would mean I have a lot. Oh, hello David. Oh, hello teacher. Oh, you sweetheart. So yeah, so if we have any kind of cut or interruption and I do not come back, say 2 to 5 minutes later, that will mean the stream is over, because the technical difficulties have actually overcome my power to solve them. So I'm just, for now everything looks fine, and you guys are telling me that everything's fine. So okay, I'm gonna wrap it out, rewind, and start all over again. Salom bacha, Khosh Amadi. Welcome to this Monday English stream of Las Plumas de Simurgh, which I am super excited about, because finally, look what I have here. It's back. The Book of Kings is back, but we're not gonna jump right into it. No, we're gonna take our time. We're gonna enjoy, appreciate our company. Welcome. If this is the first time you come across this Twitch channel, hello, my name is Laura, and this is Las Plumas de Simurgh. And what we do here is we talk about magic, mythology, philosophy. We talk about art, loads of art, like an insane amount of art, and history about Mesopotamia and about Iran. And this time we are gonna resume our reading of the Book of Kings, which I was so excited to start again, because you know this book, Bacha, makes me happy. There's few things in the world that make me smile as this book does. The sole thought that these books exist in this world makes me enormously happy. But let me start saying hi. There's like more than 200 of you. Where did you come up from? I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how this happened, or when, or even why, but thank you so much. I mean, thank you to all the people who's clicked followed. Hello Nugas. My god, long time no see. God, I missed you. I'm gonna hug your head super strong when I see you again. Don't worry guys, if everything's perfectly safe, I'm not gonna kill anybody. It's just I like hugging heads of the people I like. What was it? What was I saying? Yeah, nobody's driving. Jesus, take the wheel. So, oh my god, there's like a lot of you in this channel, so welcome and thank you. Thank you so much to everybody that's clicked followed and everybody who's subscribed to the channel. You help me tons with your subscriptions and your follow, so thank you so much. And that leads me to my next point. Thank you so much to my patrons. That is right, round of applause in the purest Greece style to my supporters, my patrons, my patron family. Thank you so much, especially to those of Tir, Murshid and Ashdod. I couldn't be here if it wasn't because of you. And you see now in this stream I managed to pick up Goku, because we had, oh my god guys, let me tell you, we had a major problem. We lost Goku entirely, and I thought we were not gonna recover it, but we did. And now Goku, which is my mic, Chesum, which is my camera, and Mul, which is my light ring over there, they're all working perfectly. And these 3 peeps joined my team just solely because of my patrons' effort. So thank you so much. should you consider supporting us on Patreon? Go check it out. It's Patreon/Las Plumas de Simurgh all together. You cannot miss it. There's just one Simurgh on the internet, and that is me. Welcome, guys. Oh, I'm so excited to start again. Oh, I want to give a special shout out to my friends at Mazandercast. If you do not follow them on Twitter, you definitely should. Because it's a Persian podcast, is in English, don't worry. It's an English language podcast about Iran, about art, food, the Shāh-nāmeh, and these guys are dear friends to my dear friends of mine. So just go check them out. And this is I don't know, like a special message to them because they cannot join the streams anymore because, you know, we're starting classes again and life happens, but always in my heart, Mazandercast. Boss. What is that? Currently studying about cosmic trees, so we're listening to these, these as well. I'm excited for the Shāh-nāmeh. I love you. I do love you, Nogas. Right, so what are we drinking today? What are you drinking? I'm an idiot. Sounds like a maraca. Can you actually hear that? Okay, enough. So, Jesus, take the wheel, because if you don't, Satan's gonna do that. Probably it's already done. So what we're drinking today is black chai, which, fun fact, did you know that the actual word for tea in Persian is chai? So this is chai siya, but we call chai to a very particular blend of tea, which has like cardamom and ginger and cinnamon. So, oh, you can hear that? Oh, you're welcome. So yeah, this is black chai, and it's black tea, ginger, cinnamon, elderberries, chili, spicy, but it's not spicy. It's tolerable to my level of spiciness. And yep, that's it. Yeah, and it's organic. Do you want to know the funniest fact? It's from IKEA. I'm not making this up. Can you see it? I mean, it's not gonna focus, but yeah, you know the logo. This is from IKEA, and it's super nice actually. It's really, really nice. I'm not making this up. This was a present, so thank you so much to the person who gifted this to me, and it's actually very nice. So I have it here in my home cup, because one of us needs to be intelligent here. Oh yeah, a proper chai. Also, today is a ridiculously windy day, so it's not exactly cold, but it's not exactly warm either. So I have here, I don't know if you can see it, probably you don't. I have here my jumper in case I have the need of wearing it, but if you hear something, which you shouldn't because Goku is the only audio entrance, but if you hear something like that is basically the wind against my window, or the seagulls, or I don't know, or a handful of dark spirits that possess my room every single time I walk in it because I am a demon. Anyway, Bacho, it's back! It's back, the Book of Kings. If this is the first time you join this stream, I'm gonna give you a quick summary of what we do in these Shāh-nāmeh sessions, but unfortunately I'm not gonna brief the rest. You have all the sessions of the Shāh-nāmeh are up in this Twitch channel. You can look for them. Some of them are on YouTube as well. So if you want to catch up with what we're reading, make sure you do that, because there's some few characters and few peeps that you need to know, and a few concepts that you need to know in order to understand the story. But okay. All right, so excited. So the last time we read the Shāh-nāmeh, we are actually dealing with my favorite part, which is the story of Zahok, the Serpent Demon King, and we learned of him how he got his father killed. He didn't personally kill him. How he made a deal with the devil. Yes, how he made a deal with the devil, and how he was cut forever, having two snakes, two black poisonous devilish snakes growing out of his shoulders, who needed to be fed human brains. Because boy, this book is metal AF. Also, we learned of Feridun because Zahok saw Feridun in a dream. Do you remember, guys? Do you remember actually when Zahok dreamt of Feridun? He saw in a dream this youth, this beautiful youth, because I ship it. We'll deal with that in a second, but I do ship it. My friends at Mazander Kazano agree with me. I do not bloody care. I do ship Zahok and Feridun. And then we learned of the story of Feridun, which was the son. I never remember Feridun's dad. I don't know if he is. Let me just check on my notes, which is my book basically. No, I don't think so. Oh, but we learnt about Faranak. Faranak is the mum of Feridun. And also, do you guys remember Barmaye? Barmaye was the cow that nourished, she nursed Feridun and she brought them up. But the thing is, when Zahok dreamt of Feridun, he had this kind of, how to explain it? This kind of prophetical dream. It was revealed to him that he would be cursed and he would make himself the way to his own destruction. And trying to avoid this fatal destiny, Zahok did basically everything he needed to meet his doom, which is Feridun. Boy, do I ship it. So yeah, Zahok killed Bormaye, which is a cow, and Zahok killed Feridun's dad, and everything was a mess. And then Feridun grew enough to be, I think he was 16. Yeah, he's a brat of 16-year-old, something like that. And then he learned about his past. Feridun is, what is that? Abtin? Afti? What is that, Aaron? So, Feridun learned about his past being a descendant of Jamshid. Do you remember Jamshid, that person who basically did everything to screw it up and lost the Far? And yeah. So, what the context we need to know before venturing in this part of the Shāh-nāmeh is the following. The world is absolutely like governed in darkness. According to Google, the father of Feridun or something. Oh, Abtin. Maybe, perhaps, I do not remember the name of the father, but yeah, we'll go with that. Abtin. So, Abtin was a little bit of a coward. Do not be fooled. He is a coward that basically gave up before Zahok, and yeah, he surrendered and he got killed because Zahok ain't no time for mercy. Zahok, just nobody had time for that. So basically what you need to picture in your head is a world consumed by terror, by shadows, by demons. The laws are not obeyed. Religion is just a very big mess. Everything disgusting, everything's wicked, because there's like this black mist around the world. Like physically you can sense the presence of evil. That is, Zahok is sitting in the throne of the world, which he took from Jamshid, and he's ruling with an iron fist this land. And now he's absolutely nuts because he wants to find this kid, Feridun, to kill him before Feridun kills him. Which, if you ask me, fair enough. People wanted to survive. People enjoyed being alive. Especially Zahok, which is like cursed and alive for 1,000 years at least. So, we left when Faranak, which is Feridun's mom, tells Feridun to chill, as in like, you sit down, you calm down, you don't have an army, because you know Feridun is all heated up, blaming that he's gonna find Zahok and kill him, and you know, he's just a brat. I mean, I love Feridun, do not get me wrong, I really like Feridun, because I always tell you the same. This is my stream, this is my Shāh-nāmeh, these are my preferences. So yeah, I do love Feridun, but he's a little bit of a spoiled brat. Not spoiled in this regular sense, it's just a loud mouth. His tongue is, he needs to learn how to shut up. So his mom tells him, you're not going anywhere, you don't have an army, you don't have allies, you have nobody to go to, and you are not going to march towards the king of demons yourself, because you're going to get killed. Actually, Faranak is a character, oh my gosh, she kicks ass. I really like female characters that kick ass without picking up a sword. I really do love these kind of characters, and Faranak is one of them. So basically, as Feridun is being told to chill, now we're gonna know the story of one of the best characters in the entire book. I know I always say that, I know the book is this big and we just covered these parts, but guys, hear me out. We are gonna know Kaveh, which is the blacksmith. I wish I could have like noises or music in the background, but you know how copyright works. So this is the story of Kaveh, the blacksmith, and Zahok, the Arab. I'm already excited. First tea. Before me continuing, is everything okay? You can hear me, you can see me, you can write? Is everything all right? The tension is killing me. I just want confirmation one more time. Okay, perfect. All right, as I was saying, the story of Kaveh, the blacksmith, and Zahok, the Arab. Okay. Day and night. I'm really sorry. Day and night, Feridun's name was on Zahok's lips. In his greatness, he feared his fall, and his heart was filled with terror on the thought of Feridun. I shivered! I do shivered! One day, sitting on his ivory throne, with a turquoise crown on his head, how beautiful is Shāh-nāmeh, Zahok summoned the great men from every country to bear witness to his reign. It's like, you know, if you know Zahok, if you remember a little bit of Zahok as we read before, he's a guy that likes to show off. Oh, and here, turquoise is a stone. Can you picture turquoise in your head? Have you ever seen turquoise? So it's a very powerful stone in Iran, and apparently that color, like turquoise color, that color between light green. Yeah, Typhoon is on my team, possibly because I've convinced Typhoon to be on my team. But so this turquoise is very important because of its color. The color is, if you picture a turquoise in your head, these aquamarine color between blue and light blue and green symbolizes life, and it's very, very important that they wear these kind of stones in their crowns, because remember, it doesn't matter if it's Demon King, Zahok is king, and he needs to show certain symbols to prove his worth. Although, remember, he doesn't have the fire, he's cursed, he's basically a hellspawn, we all know that, but still, it's about royal paraphernalia. So, yeah. So he said to the sages, gather there. He calls up, this is a very king-ish thing to do, okay, you will call up your men and your minstrels from every single part of the world. You will attend your court, and you will deal with, you will discuss certain matters of government with them, mostly economics, but you know what I mean. He said to the sages gathered there, I wish I could have Zahok's voice. I wish. You are wise, skilled men. And as all wise men I know, I have a secret enemy. I do not underestimate even a contemptible enemy, and I fear that an evil fate awaits me. He knows what's coming. I must increase the size of an army with men and demons, the two mixed together. Boy! I'm impatient to accomplish this, and you must agree on it. Now, a testament is to be written stating that your leader has sown nothing but seeds of righteousness, that he says only what is true, and that he is zealous in the pursuit of justice. I mean, you kind of did the opposite, as is a man, is a hog, like, let me tell you. So basically he's asking his ministers to provide more men and to call up the demons to join the army. How cool is that? And because they need to sign a kind of a contract, let's say it like that, they need to sign kind of a contract. And he's asking them to say that the leader has sown nothing but seeds of righteousness, he says only what is true, and he's zealous in the pursuit of justice. I mean, to your own interest, of course, my dear love, but sure. I love this character so much. Out of fear of Zahok, the great men gathered there witnessed the document. Young and old, they signed their names to that evil monster's claims. Have I told you before how the Shāh-nāmeh is extremely biased if there is an evil character, he's not gonna, Ferdosi is not gonna be, you know, stingy about nice compliments, if you know what I mean. At this moment, the cries of someone demanding justice were heard at that door. The plaintiff was brought in and given a place in front of the noble's presence. Somebody's shouting outside, like, "We demand justice." Zahak frowned and said to him, I mean, that they brought this person before Zahak. And Zahak is not convinced, and he said to him, "Tell us, who has been unjust to you because you're demanding justice?" And here comes Kaveh. "I am Kaveh, and a blacksmith, sire," he said. And as he spoke, his clenched fist struck his head. "It's you whom I accuse. You are the one whose fires destroyed all that I've ever done. A king, then, or a monster? Which are you?" "Kaveh, my love, tell us, your majesty, which of the two? If you reign over 7 kingdoms, why must our fate be to suffer and to die? Acquit yourself then. Let me weigh your worth, and let your words astonish all the earth. And when we've heard you out, we'll see the evils that the world has done to me, and why is it my son's brains have to feed your snake's insatiable and monstrous greed." Boom, and mic drop. So this is what happens. Do you remember that the snakes had to be fed human brains, and those brains belonged to men, to very young men? So what happens, you know, behind the scenes that we don't get to see in the Shāh-nāmeh, but we, strong words, Kaveh is such a cool character. So what happens behind the scenes that we don't get to know until now is that Zahak he's not kidnapping, but he just keeps taking young people from his subjects. And one of these young men happens to be Kaveh's sons. And Kaveh is not happy about that, and he goes to retrieve his son. So he faces the Demon King. He himself alone faces the Demon King and claims to him that, "What are you, a king or monster?" And then challenges him to return his son, saying that this is unjust, this is unfair to him and to the rest of the people. And Zahak is, Zahak is blown up. Zahak was astonished to hear such language. He returned Kaveh's son to him and tried to win him over by flattering words, because remember, if there is something that Zahak is not, is a clean, honest person. So he sees, when he sees Kaveh, he learns of a powerful ally, and he thinks, "Oh, I must win this to my army." He's a blacksmith. So then he ordered Kaveh to sign the testament. You know, these testament when you basically pledge everything you have to the king. But Kaveh had read the document through, and he turned to the assembled elders. I mean, Kaveh is not taking precedence. He's turning now to the elders and said, "You're in the demon's clutches now," he roared. "Your evil hearts no longer fear the Lord, and all your faces are set fair for hell. But your hearts believe Zahak. You do believe in him. You wish him well. But I will never sign or give it a thought to this corrupted tyrant and his court." Slay! Slay, Kaveh, slay! He stood trembling with rage as he ripped the testament in two and flung it at his feet. Dude! Thank you for the follow, Gabble Potter. Then he proceeded by his stalwart son. He strode shouting from the palace into the public thoroughfare. So he basically he rips the official king's document. He gets the kid, shouts, like, spits venom to everybody that's gathered there, gets the kid, and sets off shouting. Don't you love him already? Because I bloody do. I just even love. The others the elders said to the king, "On the day of the battle, the heavens do not dare to send cold winds against you. So why should this full-mouthed Shāh-nāmeh be allowed to grow red in the face before you, as if he were a companion of yours? Why should he rip our testament to you in pieces and ignore your commands?" So basically, the thing with the cold winds, okay, you know, if you stayed with me to the other sessions of the Shāh-nāmeh, you know the important role the weather plays. The weather is indeed very important because it's still the sky, the atmosphere, the wind that's still associated with divinity. In this moment, there is one God, yes, and this book was written by a Muslim author for a Muslim ruler. But the Zoroastrian, this is a mythical time, so the Zoroastrian deities are still around. And the Zoroastrian deity of the winds is called Vayuvata. And Vayuvata, it's tempered. So basically, yeah, if the heavens, when you say the heavens do not dare to send cold winds against you, it's basically they're trying to chill, they're trying to calm down Zahog, saying that, well, you haven't had any problems so far with God, may he exist, and yeah, just remember they really want Zahog not to be angry because he's ripped people into with his bare hands before. Do you remember that? Glorious. And yeah. So basically now, also they kind of ask him, they demanded Zahog an explanation of how did you allow this person to come to shout at you, to rip your contract, and you did basically nothing. And the king answered, this is what Zahog said: "You will hear a wonder from me. When Shāh-nāmeh appeared in the doorway and I heard his voice, it was as if a mountain of iron appeared in the palace between the two of us. And when he beat his head with his fist, I felt my heart break within me. I do not know what will come of this. No man knows the heaven's secrets." This is how powerful Shāh-nāmeh is. Shāh-nāmeh is the mountain of iron, making Zahog's heart break because of claiming the life of his son. This is how powerful love, the link, you know, the bond between father and son in the Shāh-nāmeh is powerful. It's gonna play a major role throughout the rest of the stories, but here, Shāh-nāmeh is basically going to save his kid because he loves him dearly. Tell me this is not amazing. It's beautiful. And Zahog, even if he's you know, a ruthless, heartless demon, Zahog still can feel something inside of himself, something breaking, a heart he once had. And he's paralyzed before Shāh-nāmeh. He just can't say anything. He doesn't dare to say anything. He just can't. He's paralyzed before this love and this courage Shāh-nāmeh showing. So we're moving on. We're getting to the juicy part. When Shāh-nāmeh left the court, a crowd gathered about him in the marketplace. He continued to shout. I mean, Shāh-nāmeh, I like Shāh-nāmeh because he's a loudmouth like me. I mean, he shouts basically to speak, and I am all in for that. He continued to shout his demands for justice, and he hoisted his leather blacksmith's apron on a spear as a railing point. So many men crowded around that dust rose into the air, and Shāh-nāmeh strode forward with the spear in his hand, shouting, "You are God-fearing noblemen, and if you are of Feridun's party," because Shāh-nāmeh knows Feridun is coming, "free yourselves from Zahog's chains. This king is Ahriman." Do you remember Ahriman? He's basically Iblis, he's basically the devil, who's laughing in a corner somewhere, extremely happy about everything's just gone according to his own plan. And he's, yeah, this king is Ahriman, and in his heart, he is God's enemy. He's just like, this is the mantra that Shāh-nāmeh keeps on repeating. As he went forward, an army of men gathered about him, and it was not a small one. It's coming, it's coming. Shāh-nāmeh knew where Feridun was, and he made straight for the new commander's court. As the court caught sight of his approach, a thunderous cry went up, and when the prince saw the leather apron, he took it as an omen of good fortune. So the apron, right, the apron of Shāh-nāmeh. you know, blacksmith aprons are normally dirty, and they're not nice, they're practical. They're not luxury objects, they are practical objects to work, because blacksmiths work with their hands. So here basically is what happened is that Ka'beh is basically led the revolution himself with the apron. The apron is such a symbol right now. They're using it as a flag, because up to this point we never heard of any kind of fabric or symbol people identified with, apart from the far, which is, you know, bestowed from the heavens. But that is another thing, because that is different. This is human, made in the human world, and for humans themselves. So now they are moving, you know, this is like waving this apron as a symbol. So basically, Feridun at this point has managed himself to make a tiny bit of a court. And the Shāh-nāmeh does not enter in this kind of detail. The book doesn't tell us how he's done it, and we just can guess. We can guess and we can assume that at some point Feridun keep on gathering allies and basically finding people that did not want Zahhak to be king anymore. And this is because, remember, Zahhak is not a nice king, and there was a lot of people that knew of Feridun's existence because it was a prophecy. It had to happen. And these people who now are on Feridun's side, they used to be in Jamshid's side. And this is basically what, it's oh, we'll have the room here, right? So we're saying that oh, I know it's Biri this here. Biri this is gonna love it, this part. So basically, they saw the leather apron. Feridun saw the leather apron and took it as a sign of good omen, saying like, this is the chance. This is gonna be where we are triumphant. He draped it in Rumi brocade and adorned it with a device of jewels on a ground of gold, and made fringes for it of crimson, yellow and purple. At the top of the spear he placed a splendid globe like the moon. He called the apron the Qabiani banner, and from this time forward any man who assumed power and placed a royal crown on his head would add new jewels to the blacksmith's leather apron. The Qabiani banner became so splendid with its brocades and silks that it shone in the night's darkness like the sun, and the world took hope from its brilliance. What is Rumi brocade, you ask? Do you know who the Rumis are? Do you know the Rumis? I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes as I take a sip of tea. But you guys, do you know the Rumis? This is such a nice tea. The Rumis are the Byzantine Empire. This book was written in 1010, which means the Byzantine Empire was still around. So Rumi brocade is purple brocade. It's the color of kings. And this is a reason why Rumi, Maulana, is called Rumi, because he went to the Rum, to the Rum Peninsula, which is basically Anatolia today, and we call it Turkey. But at some point, those were the Rum. So yeah, the brocade of Feridun is the flag, the apron of Ka'beh is draped in purple color and gold, like the Byzantines did. Exactly, Banafshe. Banafshe is the name of purple in Persian. So yeah. If you look up right now here, what is described is a flag we reconstructed and we think is the flag of the Sasanian Empire. So if you go on Google now, because I forgot to bring it with me today, it's a kind of a square, it's purple, and it has like petals. It's like a golden flower with a circle in the center, and that is the flag of the Sasanian. And yeah, with all the jewels. So they turned Ka'beh's apron into the first imperial flag and gave it to Feridun to say that from now on, this is the symbol of royalty. This is what we stand for in Persia. So yeah, The Byzantines are here. The Rumis. I knew Britis was going to love it. Yeah. Really, she says. Really, really. So, the world continued like this for a while, and the future was unclear. This is basically, now we have, okay, let's situate our characters here. On the one hand, we have Shāh-nāmeh still in the capital and in the center of the world. But remember, he still rules over the 7 climate, which basically is the entire world, because of the number 7, because of the regions of Zoroastrianism. We've covered this already. And somewhere, and by somewhere I mean literally anywhere in the mountains, there's Feridun, his allies, and his court. And among these allies, it is Kobe and his mom. Because I don't know if you guys remember, probably you don't because it's been a while, but in his dreams, Shāh-nāmeh saw Feridun kind of escorted by, like, flanked by 2 people. One of them is Kobe. Yep, the future was unclear because they're preparing for something big that's coming, but nobody knows exactly when it's coming, how it's coming, and stuff like that. So, Feridun saw... I shoot them! Feridun saw that Shāh-nāmeh's days were numbered. He crowned himself because Feridun has no time to lose, apparently. Oh, I'm missing light. Do you guys want me to turn on Mul? Oh! I'm gonna tone you down. Yeah, that's better. What is it, Kiwi? Is there any reference to the flag not being purple anymore but green and red? No. No, absolutely. No. Because at this point, in this point of history, the colour of kings and the colour of emperors is being purple. Because basically it's super difficult to make. And it's very, very costly. It's very expensive. So, no, if you're asking this about the flag, Iran's actual flag, I need to send you over something I saw the other day about where the colours come from in Iran. But no, the flag of Feridun has always been crimson, purple, and gold with the tassels. It had tassels. I like tassels. So, basically, yeah, Feridun is more or less convinced he's going to win because basically he has the far, and we like, alright, we do like Feridun, but he's a bit too full of himself. Ivanu, thank you so much for the follow. So he crowned himself, so from now on, as far as anybody's concerned, Feridun is king. Ta-da, like that, that's easy. He crowned himself and made his way to his mother, because remember, Faranak is still around. I must leave now for battle, he said. Your task is to pray to the world's creator, in good fortune and in bad. His mother wept and prayed. Great God, I place my trust upon you. Protect my son from evil and clear the world of the unwise. So basically, Feridun knows this is very quick, but it's a very moving moment. Feridun knows his time to go, and despite the fact he's confident about his victory, he still goes to his mom and asks her to pray for them and to just basically take care of everything should he not succeed. And of course his mom weeps because which mom in her full capabilities would send a kid to war contently? Nah. So yeah, Feridun quickly prepared for his departure, but kept his plans secret. He had 2 noble older brothers, Kianush and Barmaye, who was named after the cow. Yes! He said to them, Take heart and live in joy, my brave companions. The heavens can only turn for the better, and the royal crown will come back to us. Bring me skilled blacksmiths and have a massive mace made. Feridun is preparing his weapon. He knows what he needs to wield. The 2 hurried to the blacksmith's bazaar, and all its inhabitants who were eager for fame made their way to Feridun. Basically, Feridun said to the elder brothers, you know what, I need a weapon, and you need to find me a skilled blacksmith. So who is it gonna be? And everybody tries to get to Feridun. But the prince took a pair of compasses and drew a picture of an ox-headed mace in the dust. The blacksmith set to work, and when they forged the heavy mace, which glittered like the sun in the heavens, they took it to Feridun. He was pleased with their work and gave them gold, silver, and clothes in reward. This is a way that they have to show us that sometimes payments at that time and in the past, they didn't make payments in money as we would do today. Clothes was actually a way quite common of paying bills off, especially fine draperies like silk, for example, like silk or Egyptian linen, which on point Egyptian linen, and of course not just gold but silver, and sometimes luxury goods like cups or crockery, cutlery, some accessories, stuff like that. Then you after of course can trade them back for money or exchange them again, but it's just a way the Shāh-nāmeh has to tell us that not every single reward comes in the shape of a coin. Sometimes all the presents are much more valued. And are we gonna, sorry, let me see. Let me see if okay, I think, what do you say, guys? Do you want to finish this part with me today? Oh boy. I'm gonna continue, you guys let me know in the chat box. Feridun's war against Sahak. We're going to war, baby. Feridun lifted his head to the sun and prepared to avenge his father. Grudge. He set off on the day of Khordad. That is the first day of the month, which is the day of the sun. When the omens were favorable. Have you guys seen my stream on magic? The real reward were friendships we made along the way. I know Kim was being ironic right now. Isn't he cute though? Isn't he the cutest thing in the world? Where was I? Oh yeah. I was asking if you guys saw the stream we did on magic in ancient Iran, medieval Iran. This says when the omens were favorable, and you know that omen sighting and prophecy played a major role throughout the whole medieval ages in Iran. So it's not difficult, not different here. Difficult? I was going to say difficult, different. Oh my god. Under an auspicious star, an army gathered about him, and his glory rose up to the clouds. Here comes the army. Strong elephants and oxen bearing the army's provisions precede the column, and Kianush and Barmaye were at the king's side as if they were his loyal younger brothers. And so Feridun went forward like the wind, stage by stage, his head filled with thoughts of vengeance and his heart with justice. Heated up, basically. Traveling quickly on the Arab horses, because it doesn't matter. Do you remember the Arab horses were a luxury good? They reached at the place where men who had devoted themselves to God lived. That is the mountains. Feridun dismounted and sent greetings to them. As the night darkened, a man came forward to welcome them. His musky hair reached to his feet, and his face was like that of a houri in paradise. Do you know what that houri is? And please do not say they are the virgins that are awaiting you in heaven according to the Quran when you die, because that is not true. A houri is a creature from heaven, basically. It's, do you know, I don't know if we're gonna mess up in here, because my knowledge of Christian mythology and geology is not that great, but as far as I'm aware, in Christianity, angels are not supposed to be gendered. They're like gender fluid or gender neutral. Basically, a houri is the same. It's an angelic being, and they don't have a defined gender. Although here we know is a man, because we're talking about a mortal person. No, I didn't say a hoodie. I said a hoodie. So yeah, basically it's a way of saying is an angelic figure, which implies two things. First, it's very, very beautiful person. Second, it's a person bestowed with good luck. It's an omen of good luck. It's good fortune, something good. It's blessing. Exactly, that was the word I was looking for. Blessing. This person's going to bless the army. This angelic figure came to the prince to teach him the secrets of magic so that he would know the key to hidden things. Do you remember, if you saw our stream on magic, that you have to be taught these kind of practical magic, and you can be taught by a demon, but you also can be taught by an angel. So basically here, the angels, the sages, are teaching Feridun how to use magic the same way his grandfather did, which is Jamshid, and you know, Takht-e and Hoshang, and all these mythical kings, which I am entirely in love with. Feridun understood that this was a divine being and not an emissary of evil. Feridun has inherited the capability of his great-grandfather, which is Tahmuris, to see. Tahmuris was able to see and separate evil from heavenly, and you know, celestial, terrestrial, and infernal, and he can do the same thing. I'm gonna move. I move a lot. I'm really sorry about that. His face flushed like the blossoms on the Judas tree, and he rejoiced in his youth and good fortune. Isn't he cute though? Like, an angel presents to him and says, "Oh, I can see you're a good person. The Far is with you. I'm going to teach you magic." And Feridun blushes. I see some. His cook made him a meal fit for a nobleman, because Feridun knows the way. He shows appreciation through food. Be like Feridun, kids. And when he had eaten, his head became heavy with sleep. So they do eat and they just pass out because siesta. Feridun's brother saw the holy man's behavior and how the prince's good fortune flourished, and they decided to destroy him. Right, I need to tell you something about sisterhood here. Food is the best currency. That is entirely right, Lucas. So basically, we have a problem in the Shāh-nāmeh about jealousy. El mal del puerco le dicen. We have a problem about jealousy here. So in the Shāh-nāmeh, you're going to see, if you stick around throughout the book with me, you're going to see a lot, and I mean a lot of times, brothers and sisters grow envious of each other, and they basically want to kill each other because they're jealous. Feridun's brothers are no different, unfortunately, and yeah. Feridun was sleeping sweetly at the foot of a mountain, and late that night the two brothers slipped away from the army and climbed up to where a huge rock overhung the prince. So basically, they want to kill his brother because now he's blessed with divinity and he has the blessing of the heavens, and that cannot be tolerable. That cannot be tolerated. Not at all. So they sent in tumbling down the mountainside to kill their sleeping brother. They just toss a giant boulder to smash Feridun's skull, because you're going to kill your little brother. You're going to do it properly. Am I right? The things I teach you here. And Jesus. But by God's command, remember, Feridun is protected with divinity. Healthy ceiling Rivoli. The noise of the rocks fall woke Feridun, and he stopped He stops the rock himself in his descent by means of a magic spell. Feridun kicks ass. He's such a I'm twisting words in my head. He is such a young sorcerer, and now he's just like moved by it. Like, I don't want to die, and he stops the rock. The rock halted and never moved again. Then Feridun rose and prepared to continue on his journey, saying nothing to his brothers about what had happened. Feridun sees them. Parentheses, but that kind of sibling relationship is all over the Old Testament. Yes, and all over a lot of tales of like Semitic and Iranian origin. I love this kind of quotation. He made for the river Arvand If you do not know Pahlavi, this river is called the Shleh in Arabic, or the Tigris. He arrived to the Tigris River in Mesopotamia and pitched camp on its banks, close to the city of Baghdad, and sent word to the ferryman there that he needed boats to transport his army across the river, because basically everybody wants to go to war. But the man neither sent any craft nor came to talk with Feridun. His answer was, "The world's king has told me in private that I am not to let so much as a mosquito cross the river without a permit sealed in the correct manner." So basically, papers please. Papers please. You don't have the papers, you don't cross the Tigris. You don't close Arvand. Sorry, not sorry here. And yeah, they don't have seals or documents for the whole army. Not the elephants do not have the passport, you know, updated. So not crossing for you, babies. Feridun was enraged by this reply. You know, Zahog just doesn't want anybody to cross the river. Feridun was enraged by this reply. His mind was focused on the coming battle, and undeterred by the river's depth, he mounted his brave horse Golrang. Golrang is basically one of the best horses in the Shāh-nāmeh. The Shāh-nāmeh cares enough to give names to horses, and you know I am here all for the horses. I love horses. So Golrang basically means the color of flowers. In this case, we think it's rose. So that means it's like the coat of this horse must be something. Do you remember the takht-e I showed you when talking about the post service in Iran? So yeah, flower colored Golrang, cute, and it probably had this kind of coat that glimmery and shimmery and this kind of dusty gold rose color. I don't know. Golrang is super beautiful horse, and he's brave. So he mounted his brave horse Golrang and urged it into the water, into the bloody Tigris river, which is like wide. This is such a repeated chapter. When the illustrations of the Shāh-nāmeh were made, these particular passage is repeated all over and over and over. You can find a picture of that on our Instagram. Go check that out, it's amazing. His companions quickly followed suit, plunging their mount in the river so that the water rose above their saddles. Like, they were just up here with water. The prince and his army reached the further bank and went down towards Jerusalem, which was called in Pahlavi Gang des Hukht, and was where Zahog had built his palace. So now we know that Zahog is in Jerusalem. When they were a mile from the city, the king saw a palace with walls that shone like the planet Jupiter in the heavens and were so high that they seemed to reach for the stars. This is a very interesting thing because the color commonly associated with Jupiter is black. So basically, Zahog's palace is black. Metal! Metal. I'm going to take a sip of tea. Imagine a mosquito carrying a permit that was bad illegal mosquito immigrants. Lucas! He knew that this great palace, which seemed a place of joy and peace, was the home of the monster Zahog, and he said to his companions, "I fear that anyone who can raise such a building on the dark earth is somehow secretly favored by fate. Rather than delayed, we had better attack immediately." So here, yeah, Feridun is fearing for himself, basically, because he's seeing the structure and he's wondering, but what if actually I was not blessed and this person is far more dangerous? Have I overestimated Zahog? We're talking about the Demon King after all, so you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, it's like no time to think, no time to wait. We have to attack now. He shouldered his mace and urged his horse forward, bearing down on the place gods like a fire, so that no one of them remained. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, this young, courageous warrior who had no experience of the world gave thanks to God and entered the palace on horseback. king as, yes, he comes Feridun. There he came on an idol made by Shāh-nāmeh, and its head reached into the sky. Okay, I need further explanation on this. When Feridun saw that it bore a name other than that of the creator, he overturned it. With his mace, he crushed the heads of the magicians and demons who were in the palace, and then placed his foot on Shāh-nāmeh's throne in victory. Shāh-nāmeh's not there. The thing with idolatry is that, you know, the religions, the monotheistic religions, do not approve exactly, and that allows for a lot of explanation there about. But you know, idols are not well seen, especially in Islam. And you know of the episode, maybe you don't, but there is a very famous episode on the Hadith and the Quran of Muhammad coming to Kaaba and destroying the idols in the temple, and therefore installing the new creed, which is that there's just one God, and that's basically it. So having an idol is another act of defiance from Shāh-nāmeh, saying that he just doesn't need God, he's entirely refused it, and he's created a new one. He's created a new God. We do not know what the idol is from. It could be literally any divinity, so I'm gonna say, I don't know, he built an idol to Berethagna, the Yazata of victory, but that is because I really like Berethagna. And yeah, it's not a nice. I mean, just remember, this is thought for a Muslim audience who, of course, are gonna be on Feridun's side because what he's doing is the right thing to do. Basically, he's just killing everybody. He had the black-haired women of the harem, whose faces were as splendid as the sun, brought before him. What you gonna do, boy? They had been brought up as idolaters and were trembling and terrified as if they were drunk. But Feridun commanded that their minds be purified and their souls freed from darkness. Remember, he is a god's magician, basically. He had them taught the ways of righteousness and cleansed them of their idolatry. Then Jamshid's two daughters stained their cheeks with tears. Remember, the Arbanaz and Shahbanaz were there with Shāh-nāmeh, they were the lovers. And their Jamshids, you know, depending on the version, is the sisters or the daughters, but I'm going to go with the daughters here. They stained their cheeks with tears and said, "May the old world be renewed by your good fortune. Tell us what star guides you, and what tree you are sprung from, and that you have dared to attack the lion's sleeping quarters so bravely. How wretchedly we pass our days, mistreated by that fool of a magician. What sufferings we have endured at that monster's hands. We have never seen anyone strong enough or valiant enough to seek his throne." Basically, you know, against once more repeating all of Shāh-nāmeh's deeds. But this is interesting. Which tell us what tree you are sprung from. Do you remember the cypress tree? The cypress tree is the sacred tree in Zoroastrianism and also in ancient Iranian thought. It's basically Feridun, when he was described before, he was described as tall and as beautiful as a cypress tree. So this is another way the poet and the poem has of explaining how great and beautiful and gorgeous is Feridun. So Feridun answered, "Neither the throne nor good fortune will remain with one man forever." How wise is this kid? And he's like 16 or something. "I am the son of the illustrious..." Yes, you were right, Aaron. "I am the son of the illustrious Albertine, whom Shāh-nāmeh seized and murdered in Iran, and I seek Shāh-nāmeh's throne in revenge. The marvelous Balmaye cow was my wet nurse, and that innocent animal's blood too will be avenged by me." How sweet is Feridun. He remembers the cow. He knows he has a list of people Shāh-nāmeh is gonna pay for, a number of deaths he has to avenge. And he includes the cow because she raised him. Come on, guys, you need to be in love with Feridun as I am. "I have come from Persia bringing war, and I shall give the evil Shāh-nāmeh no rest or peace until I have crushed his head beneath my ox-headed mace." Wow. Statement. Arbanaz, she's one of Jamshid's daughters, says, "Are you then King Feridun? who will destroy magic and sorcery, and in killing Shāh-nāmeh, free the world from tyranny. You know, basically in this world, gossip goes around quick. News fly. Everybody knows Feridun, but Feridun himself. We are two princesses of the royal blood, and we cooperated with him only because we feared for our lives. Yeah, sure. And because he was a piece of cake, right, Arbanas? You tasted the good old Demon King, didn't you? Ay, my dear. Ay, Jesus. My lord, think what it has meant to be married to such a serpent. Babe, honey, petal. Feridun replied, if the heavens are not in league with evil, I shall cleanse the world of this foul monster. Now you must tell me truly where he's lurking. These two beautiful women, who hoped to see Shāh-nāmeh's head spitted on a lance, said, he has fled toward India to turn it into a land of sorcery, and there he slaughters innocents by the thousand. He is fearful on his fate, since it was predicted to him that the land would soon be rid of him, that his good fortune was at an end, and that a man would come who would seize his throne. This man's very dull. What? And he was like really hot. Ferdowsi 1010. That is right. Shāh-nāmeh is hot as hell. And if you don't believe me, I invite you to go over YouTube and search for Horror Studios and see what they did to gorgeous Shāh-nāmeh. Bam! Fleeing, what a cold word. I know. I mean, remember, Shāh-nāmeh is not expected to do brave deeds. It's just, he just wants to be, yeah, I cannot defend him. He's my favorite character, but I cannot defend him. Yeah. This warning, and a man would come who would seize his throne. This warning has filled his heart with fire, and nothing in life gives him pleasure now. He murders men and women. This is a quote from Merlin, because killing things meant a broken heart. Right, Shāh-nāmeh? Beasts of burden and wild animals, and mixes their blood in a vat, believing that if he washes his head and body there, he might avert the astrologer's prediction. So basically, Shāh-nāmeh. Hello, my love. Basically, Shāh-nāmeh is just bathing in blood as his last option. As one does. And still the snakes that grow from his shoulders continue to torment him. Though he flees from country to country, this pain never ceases, but now he will return, since he is unable to stay anywhere for long. The hero listened while the lovely speaker unburdened her grief-stricken heart. But I don't, my friend. So this is very sad, at least to me, to hear how Shāh-nāmeh is basically, he's just finding no rest. He was cursed to never be able to sleep again, or not to be in peace ever again, because again he made a deal with the devil and he was not aware of it. And this is the way the poem has to explain the torment, not for us to pity Shāh-nāmeh, because we're not supposed to pity him, although I do, but just to mark a little bit more, to highlight the pain, the physical and spiritual pain that is refusing God and turning against him and being evil, basically, to Shāh-nāmeh. So now we're gonna read Feridun and Shāh-nāmeh's Viceroy. When Shāh-nāmeh fled from the land, a man as lowly and wretched as a slave took his place on the throne and took command of his treasuries and palace. His name was Khondro, because nobody loses time here, and he was a fool who practiced injustice. So Shāh-nāmeh flees, and Khondro sees his chance and is like, I'll take it. This man burst into the audience chamber and saw that a new prince, as handsome as a cypress tree, topped by the new moon, sat on the royal throne, while on one side of him sat Shahrbaz and on the other Arnabas. So basically, Khondro comes back just imagine it, because there's been a war, there's been a slaughter here, like pure carnage, and you come back from, I don't know, the toilet, and you find all your servants slayed, but the floors literally flooded with blood, and in the throne that was your king's and now is yours, there's a brat and the two most beautiful women you've seen in your lives, like, flanking him. This is how wonderful this poem is. Conro showed no emotion and asked no questions. He came forward humbly and made his obeisance. He said, "O king, may you live forever. You become the throne, and the fire that shines from you declares you worthy of sovereignty. May the 7 climes be your slaves, and your head be raised above the clouds." Yeah, sure. Feridun had him approach the throne and tell him the court's secrets. Then he said, "Have the royal regalia cleansed, then have wine, musicians, and a banquet made ready. Bring me whoever can please me with their music or knowledge, so that I can hold a feast worthy of my good fortune." So basically, Feridun wants a party. He's won the throne, he's prince, he's just crowned himself, and it's like, yeah, it's time to celebrate. Conro did as he had been ordered. He had wine and musicians brought. Again, this is a reminder there's no problem with drinking in the Shāh-nāmeh, which is not religious, sorry, like a Muslim book, and there's no problem with them drinking. I'm not gonna say this enough times, but check your sources before making any statement about certain things on Islamic territories. I said that. But when Feridun saw the wine, he called for music and passed the night in festive celebration. Celebrate good times, come on, because we won the war. But as the dawn broke, Conro left his present, mounted his horse, and set off to join Shāh-nāmeh. You bastard! When he reached Shāh-nāmeh, he told him everything he had seen and heard. He said, "Proud king," to Shāh-nāmeh, "the sign of your good fortune's eclipse has come. 3 warriors attacked us with their armies. The central one is younger than the others, but in his stature, he's like a cypress." I mean, Feridun is tall AF. His face shines with royal splendor. He's younger than his brothers, but he leads them and as their superior. He carries a mace that is like a fragment of a mountain, like the ox-headed mace. And his glory outshines that of his companion. He rode into the palace, because remember, Feridun made his way into the palace on horseback because he rode into the palace accompanied by his brothers and took his place on your throne. Then he destroyed all your idols and spells and flung your courtiers, both men and demons, from the castle walls, mixing their brains and their blood in death. The place is a mess, basically. Shāh-nāmeh said, "There's nothing wrong in this. He's our guest, and everything may still be for the best." Shāh-nāmeh, what do you want to do to this kid, Shāh-nāmeh? Conro replied, I really like that how Shāh-nāmeh is taking things. He's like, this is just a proof that Shāh-nāmeh is way past beyond the point of giving any, like a bird I know. And he's just like, "Oh, it's fine, he's our guest, you know, he's making himself comfortable." And Conro, which is actually quite fun here, says like, "When did a guest ever arrive flourishing an ox-headed mace, or take your place on the throne and erase your name from the crown and royal belt, then convert your people to his own faith? If you think this man is your guest, I wish you joy of him." Dude. Shāh-nāmeh said, "Don't bother me with his complaints, don't whine. Demanding guests are an auspicious sign." Shāh-nāmeh is like in denial. Like, dude, he's come to kill you, if you know what I mean. Conro replied, "So I've heard, but listen to this. If this man is your guest, what businesses has he in your harem? He sits on the throne with Jamshid's daughters next to him and takes counsel with them. One hand fondles Shahrbaz's cheeks, while the other is kissed by Arnavas's agate lips. Feridun? Feridun, you're a kid? Oh, will you look at that? Huh. The musky hair of those women who were your beloved companions. He does more than this. He sleeps pillowed on musk. The musky hair of those women who were your beloved companions. Basically, you know what he's saying, right? Like, it's really fun because Zahog is pretty chill, you know. Feridun's taken the throne, not big deal. Feridun slayed basically your entire army and your entire quartet, no big deal. Feridun is destroyed your temples and your idols and converted everybody to his new religion, no biggie. Feridun sleeping with Jamshid's daughters. Say what now? Hearing these words, Zahog desired death and roared like a wild animal. He fell to cursing his wretched fate and said, "You will never be my castle's guardian again." It's like, why are you blaming him? I love this book so much. His servant replied, "My lord, I think that you will never see your throne again. What was the point of making me the ruler on your country when you lacked all authority?" Hello there. Nothing like this has ever happened to you, so why don't you act in your own defense? You have been forced from power as a hare is forced out of dough. Very specific here. And finally, we reach the last part of these amazing story arc in the Shāh-nāmeh, which is Feridun defeating Zahog finally. Do you want me to continue the story? It's very brief, but I know I've been sitting here talking for a while, so it's up to you guys. You let me know. Do you want me to finish the story? Yeah. So okay, so I will finish then. Enraged, Zahog ordered that his swift, keen-sighted horse be saddled, and with a massive army of warlike demons, he set off for his palace. There, intent on vengeance, he clandestinely had his men take the outlying doors and roofs. But Feridun's men saw this and swarmed to the attack. Like the massive battles taking place. Picture Helm's Deep. You guys, my subconscious taking over. Picture Helm's Deep. Play in your head the March of the Rohirrim right now, because this here is a war. They were aided by all of the city inhabitants who could fight. Everybody's joining the fight. It's impressive. The whole people, the whole city is lifting their arms against Zahog. Since they hated him, like dew from dark clouds, bricks and stones rained down from the walls and roofs, and the narrow streets were cluttered with swords and arrows. All the young men of the city and the old who had experience of warfare deserted Zahog and flocked to Feridun. A cry went up from the fire temple. Remember, Zoroastrianism is praised, and the fire in the fire temple is burning again. Even if the king is a beast of prey, young and old, we shall all obey him, but will not have this evil monster Zahog occupy the throne. An army of men thronged the city, and such a cloud of dust went up, and the sun was dimmed. Dude. Jealousy of his rival's success made Zahog seek another remedy. Separating himself from his men, he dressed himself in iron armor so that he was unrecognizable, seized a lariat of 60 lengths, and made his way onto the roof of the palace. From there he could see the black-haired sorceress Shāh-nāmeh, her cheeks as bright as day, her hair as dark as night, closeted with Feridun and cursing Zahog. Zahog was in love with Shāh-nāmeh, and now she's in love with Feridun. As the he knew then that what had happened was fated by God, and that he would not escape from the evil fate that was in store for him. How sad is that? He just climbed the palace, he peeked through a window, he saw his love with another person, and that moment Zahok knew and assumed he was condemned to the worst punishment of them all. Stick that to your brain. This is a powerful book. He knew then, the fire of jealousy fled up in his mind, and forgetting his throne and the risk to his life, he let himself down into the palace with his lariat. He did not announce himself, but drew a glittering dagger, intent on shedding his handmaiden's blood. As Sahok's foot touched the ground, Feridun leaped forward like the wind and brought his ox-headed mass crashing down on Sahok's head, so that his helmet was shattered. At that moment, the angel Sorush appeared and said, Srosh is here. He's the angel of obedience, not the angel. I mean, I'm using the word angel because in here they use the word angel, but actually Sorush is the Yazata of obedience. He is a deity from Zoroastrianism, and he's here. But what did you? Okay, Sorush appeared and said, "Do not strike him again. His time has not yet come. Now that you have broken his power, bind him and take him to where you see a pass between two mountains. He will live imprisoned within the mountain, and his people will never be able to reach him." So Feridun is forgiving Zahok. He's sparing his life. Feridun lost no time in preparing strips of lion skin, with which he bound Zahok's arms and body so tightly that a raging elephant could not have broken his bones. I mean, tight. Then he sat on Zahok's golden throne and overturned the tyrant's evil customs. He had a herald cry at the palace gates. "You are wise and honored men. It is not right for you to be wielding weapons and riding out to war, in the same way that soldiers should not be artisans. Each group should follow its own calling, since if they follow another's, the earth is filled with confusion. The evil tyrant has been captured, and the earth is cleansed of his power. Return in peace to your former occupation, and may you live long and happily." So basically, Feridun is recovering, he's resuming his grandfather's deeds. He's rearranging the world again. He's allocating everybody and everything where it belonged, and yeah, he's basically reorganizing everything and distributing peace and calling out for peace. And please, let's not fight anymore. There's no need for this. All the noble and rich men of the city came to pay homage to Feridun, who received them with kindness, gave them advice and thanked them, and also gave thanks to God. He said, "This is a 17-year-old kid." He said, "This is my coat, and my star will bring good fortune to your land, as my mace has freed the world from the monster's evil. I am lord of the entire earth, and I should not stay always in one place. Otherwise, I would have lived here with you for many long years." How wise is him? Basically, he's just saying that all good things come to an end, that he's going to come to an end too, and that he needs to move around, because if he was his fate to belong to one place, he would have born there. I really like Feridun. Bless him in many ways. The nobles kissed the ground before him, and the din of drums rang out from the court. The bound Zahok was led out, ignominiously flung on a pack animal's back, and taken to Shir Khan. When they reached the mountains, Feridun wished to kill Zahok, but again Sorush appeared and spoke persuasively in his ear, telling him to take this solitary wretched captive to Mount Damavand. So they're taking Zahok to the mountain and leave it there. Feridun did this as quickly as a courier travels, and imprisoned Zahok in Mount Damavand, loading chains on him and confining him to a narrow cave that seemed to have no end. Heavy nails were driven into his body, avoiding his vital organs. Ow! Like, ow! and pinning him to the rock so that he would suffer there for a long time. And so he was left hanging in chains, with his heart's blood staining the ground. And this is the end of the cycle of Shāh-nāmeh and Feridun. And this is it, Bacha. We're finished. We finished the part with Shāh-nāmeh and Feridun. How did you guys like it? Oh my god. The finale is just the most epic ever. I really like these episodes. I am the biggest fan of Shāh-nāmeh. You know of this already, but also I am the biggest fan of Feridun. So this is all I have for you guys today. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in the stream with me. Don't worry, we will be covering the Shāh-nāmeh more often. The readings are come back. It was great. I'm really happy you enjoyed it. If you just arrived here, what I did is a reading of the Book of Kings. This is Iranian's poetry masterpiece. It's a mythological tale about the beginning of the world until the arrival of the Arabs, and the other 4 parts are up on this Twitch channel. So if you want to explore and see what you're missing and join the adventure of the Shāh-nāmeh, I mostly encourage you to do that. Again, thank you so much to my Patreons. Thank you so much to my patrons who support me. Thank you so much to everybody who's clicked followed and subscribed to my channel. You guys help me a lot. And it's just been my enormous pleasure being here, bringing back the Shāh-nāmeh. I'm so looking forward to his new season. And yeah, if you want to stay tuned, you can follow Las Plumas de Simurgh on social media. I will be delighted to see you there. And yeah, I think I have nothing else to say. I am moved by the finale of this story. I really like Shāh-nāmeh, and if you want some kind of off-topic conversation about it, maybe we can do a special stream on that. But you guys let me know whatever you'd like, because I could spend hours and days speaking of the Shāh-nāmeh. You know this already, and especially speaking of Shāh-nāmeh. So yeah, it's been my entire pleasure being here with you, and yeah, I don't know what. Oh, thank you, it was great. Thank you guys, thank you so much. And yeah, I am trying, because I have the Salon Bocha for starting, but I am trying like goodbyes, and I come up with this one. You guys let me know if you like it. So yeah, I will see you next time, and until then, create, explore, and have fun. Khodafis. Goodbye. See you next time.